We're heading into spring and summer, and if you're like me, you might enjoy a more like light, dewy glass skin finish for the summer when it comes to skin. So I'm going to be creating an easy, lightweight, glowy skin that also works for more combo skin. I have a very oily T-zone, so I want something that looks dewy and fresh but still like stays on all day and keeps me hydrated but not greasy. And we're also going to be doing a little bit of skin prep, because I will say, if you're going to create something that looks very fresh and lightweight and glowy and glass skin, we do need to start with the foundations before the foundation. And the beginning part of this video is sponsored by Dalba, which I'm very excited about. We are going to be talking about their very hydrated and glowy SPF. This one has broad spectrum SPF 50 plus. It is OTC certified, so Dalba does ensure that this one has SPF 50 according to FDA regulations. This is a Korean skincare brand, and the spray contains white truffle from Italy, which has great antioxidants, help with like firming the skin and control texture and keeping you hydrated all day. But it's also a setting spray, so it keeps your makeup on all day as well. Let's start with the SPF. SPF is very important all year round, but especially if you're going to be spending some time outdoors. And this one acts as a primer as well, because it is hydrating, but it's not greasy, so your makeup won't slip around. Remember to use enough SPF. 3 fingers is usually a good amount if you want to get the SPF that's, you're supposed to be getting. The texture of this SPF, unlike some other SPF, a little serumy, almost water-based texture that leaves you glowy but not greasy. And this is why it works for me under makeup as well, because if it becomes too greasy, your makeup will just slide around, but you also do need the SPF and the hydration. And this leaves no white cast, no clumps, and no greasiness, just leaving your skin looking like, look at that, just incredibly glowy and hydrated, ready for makeup. This 4-in-1 spray is a toner, a serum, a makeup setting spray, and a booster all in one. You can use this at any time during your skincare or your makeup routine. I'm gonna shake it first to blend the 2 different layers together, and even though this is a dewy glass-like finish, it does lock the makeup in and makes it stick on your skin so that you can look fresh and dewy without being greasy and just have makeup slid all over the place. It has a really fresh, like almost spa-like scent to it. And it's got a really nice airy texture on the skin, leaves no droplets. It's a very nice spritzer. So this is a product that will help with your makeup instantly, but it will also enhance your skin texture and the overall tone of your skin over time because of the skincare ingredients in here, including the Italian white truffles with the antioxidants. And as you can see, my skin is just looking incredibly like glowy and ready for a little bit of a skin tint, but it's not feeling greasy or overly sticky. I could leave the house looking like this because it just looks like I have a really good skincare routine, quite honestly, but it's also ready for some makeup. Since this formula has makeup setting properties in here and also skincare properties in here, a spray like this is perfect to use on your sponge as well while you're applying different makeup steps to keep your makeup from feeling heavy or cakey. So I will be showing you this throughout the application as well, and then we'll end up setting our makeup with this one, and you can just see the freshness come to life. Thank you again so much, Dalba, for sponsoring this video. I will leave all the information in the description box down below. Don't forget to check them out. You can find Dalba at Amazon, and I will link them down below. So the skin tint we're going to be using today is the Milk Makeup Nude Skin Tint. I got it in the shade 7. It is called Grip Gel Tint. And I hope this will be a good shade. Nobody really knows. And again, a way that you can use this one is that you can spray it on your sponge. I even have a new sponge for today. Like, who am I? And you spray it on your sponge. And we are just going to do a very light layer. This is just going to be a first impression of this skin tint. And I will, of course, be using this for a longer time, and I will be getting back to you about all of these products. I always try out products very intensely before I review them. I wear them in several different ways, doing of course a lot of different wear tests before I get back to you and let you know how I feel about things. So I will probably be reviewing this skin tint in, I would say, about a month. Some of these products that I am talking about today, I think might also be in the Sephora savings event that's going on right now. So if you're interested in them, you might be able to get some money off. I will link all the things in the description box. I might want a little bit more coverage over here. that is looking really nice. I like a skin tint that is giving just a little bit of coverage. I don't mind, you know, when people say like imperfections, but I think it's more like a little piece of like my skin peeking through. It just makes it look a little bit believable. And it also makes me feel more, I don't know, confident in the sun to have like skin like this. And this just looks really, really nice. I did also get a little bit of a breakout. You can see here on my lip. It was that time of the month. So let's see if we can cover that up. I'm still in the process of trying out the Estee Lauder concealer. I'm gonna use very little of this one today because I will say one of the things that I noticed when I used this one was that it felt like a little heavy. And I'm gonna make sure to not overdo it. I hope that's gonna work out. I do like being a little lighter in this area. Ooh, and being a little bit more covered in this area. And that's why I do apply concealer more than just in like the absolute under eye. I'm gonna be blending this out with an FO2, a very dense concealer brush. This is from my own brand, Cinch Beauty. And I'm gonna be dabbing in the concealer. And as you can see, I'm also using it a little bit as a matte highlighter, highlighting on parts that I like to be a little lighter and also covering on parts that I like to be a little bit more coverage. But I do think that also with this hydrated base, I do think that this concealer is gonna work out really good. Before we set this down, I'm actually gonna do my brows. I'm still using the ABH in Strawburn. I bought a backup in the Sephora sale. So I am just gonna be doing my brows. And then we can set it down with a little bit of powder, but just in the T-zone. I'm gonna be using one of my favorite powders. This is the Huda Beauty powder. And this one is, I think it's Peach Pie. And I'm gonna be doing a little bit in my T-zone because this is where I get oily. But I'm gonna keep it in my not T-zone. I'm not gonna be powdering at this point. I'll do a very thin layer at the end. But when I have like a glowy base like this, I just want to set it down with powder because I know that eventually it will still like come through and look glowy, but the powder will just help with keeping everything in, together of course with the makeup setting spray. So now that we have a thin layer of powder going on, we are going to be doing just a little bit of bronzer. Where did I put it? I'm still using, oh my god, can you see how much I've used? This is the cream bronzer by Rare. Do you see that? I really do like this. This is still the lightest shade. I still have not gotten any tan for this summer. So I'm just gonna do a little bit to get a little bit of definition and warmth in the outer part of my face. Nothing too dramatic. I have a dog here that's very dramatic though. How's it going, baby cakes? Oh, she's leaving me. She is. She's like, no. So let me just blend in this bronzer. I still very much recommend this bronzer. I absolutely love it. And I think that this light shade is just a beautiful bronzy shade that still works as like a neutral brown without being like orange. But it gives just that beautiful light bronze in the outer perimeter of my face without being too dark before I start getting a tan. And I was hoping to get a tan today, but it is so gloomy today in Austin. That's a no-go. So I feel like this is just giving a little bit of bronze, not too much. And I'm gonna be using a fluffier brush. This is the FO5 and I'm just pushing it in. This one has like a net and I'm just gonna be setting my face with this. So I'm just doing a very light layer and then we're gonna be doing that Rare Beauty blush because I'm excited to see how that's gonna look. I was very excited when these blushes showed up in the mail and this one is in Grateful. It is the Matte Bouncy Blush by Rare Beauty. Look at this red. This is why I put this top on. I really wanna do, oh my god, I'm almost taking this top off. I really wanna do something with this one that almost goes into like the crease of the lid. I'm gonna try and keep it airy. I'm gonna use the Singe F06. And I'm gonna try and keep it airy, but still make it red. We'll see. We'll see how this ends up. Oh. This is a matte, like almost cream to powder. It is like a putty texture. It's a really beautiful, like sheer but buildable blush. And I use a really fluffy, bouncy like brush like this when I'm doing really blushes that are really pigmented or really dark, just to make sure that I'm not overdoing it instantly. But I think that that is really like rosy and very much there without like being too clownish. I think this will be a really good color for summer. This like corally red, and this is the shade that I had in my basket at Sephora, because like PR is all fun and dandy, but if I don't get it, I'll just buy it myself. And this is the shade that I had picked out for myself, so it felt only fair that that would be the shade that I wore as well. And I definitely think that that looks honestly quite incredible. I really like that. I also did purchase the new Dior highlighter. I got this in the sale. This is number 2 Halo something, Gold Halo, and it looks really incredible. I'm wondering, let me see, let me get like a nice highlighter brush. This is the F07, and we are just gonna be, I don't want to like, I'm just dotting in. I don't want to be like overdoing it. I think that that looks really pretty, because I don't want this to be like a 2016 like highlighter stripe, but I still want to take it in. Oh, this brush definitely had some highlighter. You see those bigger specks? I am such a noob. That definitely was highlighter from another glittery highlighter that I've been using. That is a sign for me that I need to clean my brushes. So yeah, those specks are definitely not from this formula. It's from another formula that I used. That is a shame, but that's where we are. I think that that looks like really good. Oh, what a nice cheek. Look at that. It's like red. It's like red and beautiful, but not like overdone. That looks absolutely beautiful. That was a really beautiful combo. I love how that looks. And the skin is looking so fresh. Everything is looking really nice. This is the one thing that worries me. This is the new lip liner by Merit. I also got this one in the Sephora sale. This is in Bespoke. When I swatched this one, first of all, it was like satin. Let me show you. So it's supposed to be like a sheer, like it's not a fully opaque lip liner, and I do like that, but I think it's too creamy and too satiny, and I don't know, I think you can see here, like it's shiny. Do you see that? It's shiny. So I'm gonna put the lip liner on, and then I'm gonna leave it for like 5 minutes, and we're gonna see if it sets down, if it mattes down. Because when I tried like wiping on the swatch that I did on my hand, it wiped off instantly. And I'm like, is this just another one of those like Road Beauty lip liners? Because look at how shiny that is. That is like lip balm shiny. Okay, so it's been like 5 minutes, and it's still kind of glowy, and it transfers. I don't know about this lip liner, you guys, okay? This is like a lipstick. Let me actually just put this on my entire lip so you can see. Like, look at that. That has a very balmy, almost feels like a sheer glowy balm in a liner. This is not a lip liner to me. I don't know what they were trying to do with this formula, but whatever they were trying to do, I have I have some questions, okay? I have some follow-up questions. And there's a lot of things from Merit that I like, but doing a sheer lip liner is genius. Doing a sheer lip liner in the formula of a sheer glowy balm is mystifying in a lot of different ways. Okay, that is what it is. Skin is at least looking absolutely fantastic, even though the lips look great, but it's not a lip liner. It is what it is. I bought the Pat McGrath, the new, what is this, Mothership something. Mothership 12 Petal Morphosis. The packaging is beautiful, and I bought this. I bought this limited edition packaging from the Pat McGrath website, and it came in this like purple, and then on the inside, of course, is the palette. I'll show you a couple of swatches of this. As I'm filming this, I have not swatched it or done anything with it, but I'm very intrigued to do something. I want to do like an easy, colorful look, and I want to see how the green is. And that's why I have this top on that has the red and the green, because I was thinking a red cheek and a green eye, and just doing like a red and green, but make it spring and summer. That was my goal. I do know that this palette is available at Sephora as well, not the limited edition purple packaging, but you can get it with a discount during the sale. I actually only own one Pat McGrath palette from before, which is one of the original ones that came out. I got it as a gift from my friend Karen Harris, and of course I value that palette so much, not only because it's like a really high quality palette, but also because it was a gift from a friend. And I think that in the beginning, Pat McGrath really had something super like unique going on, an editorial with the different formulas and the color stories, but I feel like the color stories have been pretty pedestrian these past couple of years, and I was pleasantly surprised when I saw this palette, because is it as adventurous as a lot of indie palettes are? No, but it's not trying to be either. It is a difference between selling a really colorful palette on Sephora and selling a really colorful palette to indie lovers. There are two different consumer groups, and they don't necessarily shop at the same place or looking for the same things, and also the quantity of palettes being sold is a big difference. So I am going to be using, let me think a little bit. I think I'm going to be using this one. It does have some shimmer in it, but I don't really care about that. This one and then this one. And I'm thinking this one, right? I think so. And maybe we'll grab like a matte pastel or something from somewhere else, just to create like a little bit of a believable look for me, something that I'm looking for. So I'm doing on an EO3. I'm doing that like almost like peach brown clay, and I'm doing a very like, this is my most flimsy, fluffy brush in my collection, and I'm doing this because I want this as a transition before we go in with the green, but I don't want it to be like super opaque, because it's going to make it really hard for me to apply the green after, because I mean a peach and a green don't necessarily naturally blend together, but I will definitely make this work. So this brush is perfect if you're gonna do a very light transition, or if you need to like really buff and blend out an edge. This like brush is perfect for that. I usually do use something that's a little bit more dense than this when I'm doing colorful looks, but a brush like this definitely has a place in your collection for like stuff like this. Just an easy breezy transition shade. Now for that dark green, I'm going to use a EO5, which is a very small blending brush. And I'm going to be focusing on the outer corner for this shade. And then we're going to do the shimmer on the lid. But I'm basically going to be focusing out here. You can see small circular motions just in the outer corner, and we'll take it from there. This color is really beautiful. I feel like this would look so good together with like a warm green or a mustard, because like that's of course a look that I am going for. But I also think it works like this. So you can see I'm just focusing in the outer corner, and I'm gonna go back with the brush that I had before and a little bit more of the peach. And I am just gonna blend over the edge just a little bit, and then going back with that brush without any additional product. And again, I'm just very, very lightly blending on the edge, going back with a little bit more of the peach, and I'm just going in between until I have something like this. It's green and it's blended, but it's not totally blended into each other, but it's also not, because I don't want it to be muddy. I want it to be something like this, and I think that looks really good. So I'm gonna use these exact shades under my eyes as well. I'm starting with the peach, and then we're gonna go in with the green. Just a little bit of that to mimic what was going on the upper side. So not too much, just a little bit to accentuate and give a little bit of drama, but not too much. Okay, so this is where we get into the fun part, where we are going to be doing the shimmer. Let me get a good brush for this. This is an EO1. It's perfect for these like sparkly shades. And I did spritz this, and we are going to be putting that on the middle of the lid. That is so pretty. And I feel like this shows that you can actually, with this palette, you can do a colorful look, and this shadow is actually pretty sparkly. That's pretty impressive. I'm not gonna put it all the way in because I don't want the look to be that dark. Because it's when you start to put the dark shadows really high and really far into your inner corner, that's usually, not always, but that's usually when a look starts to feel like really dramatic and a little darker. So we're just gonna keep it out here. And I'm gently buffing a little bit on this edge just to blend it into the crease. Oh, here's my big brush again. I'm doing a little bit more of the peach. And again, I'm just softening up the edge a little bit. Peach has been helping us a lot. And we're keeping it like that. That looks really good. So I probably will use like a little bit of this probably, but let me see. Oh, maybe actually, because I do have, oh my God, I almost showed you something that hasn't been released yet. Oopsie doopsie. I do have my Galactic Visitor here, and I could do the mint, but I think I'm gonna do this it's like this very like pastel peach, and I think that's gonna be like a really unoffensive shade to have in the inner corner. And just to tie this together, because again, everybody has their own way of doing makeup. For me, to really lighten up my makeup and to make this fold here feel more approachable to me, not as like deep and creasy, I try to tend to want to use lighter shades towards the inner part of my eye. I feel like it opens up my eye, and I feel like the matte shadows help not accentuate whatever crease and folds that are going on there, so that we can focus on the effects going on the rest of the eye. So I'm leaving it like this with just the peach, and then I think we're gonna go back into this palette and let's use this shade. The one that is next to the dark green. It's like almost like this sparkly, multifaceted, very sparkly lavender, almost purple. Ooh, this seems very fun. I'm gonna spritz this one too, and we are gonna layer this on top here. Oh yeah, this will be so perfect to go between that pastel shade and the dark green. Can you see how perfect that works there? It just really gives that transition that we needed. I didn't really get any fallout, but I think that is looking really good, right? I'm actually really impressed with that eye look. I like it. So the makeup look is done, and we are now going to use this as a makeup setting spray. Again, this does have a bi-phase to it, but it is also a setting spray. So it will set down your makeup and make it last longer, but also be glowier. And that is the magic of this formula. So this is the glowy result. It's gonna keep me hydrated and dewy, but also keep my makeup from settling into lines and sliding all over my face. And it just looks healthy, skin-like, glass skin, but still having that little pop of a fun summer color, because, you know, I really do love some color for the summer. And I think overall, I really liked all of the products that I tried today, except this lip pencil. I'm almost at the point where I want to do a video, don't buy these products at the Sephora sale. I don't know about this one. But let me know how you feel about this makeup look. Let me know if you've tried this eyeshadow palette. How do you feel about it? Are you interested in it? I would love to hear all about it. Again, thank you so much, Dalba, for sponsoring this video. I'm very excited to be sharing some products that can give that dewy glass skin look without giving you that greasy, just slipping all over your face that, let's be honest, nobody is looking for. So check them out in the description box. I will link to where you can find them there. And I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you soon in a new video.